As much as I've been enjoying doing the micro reviews for Toycember, some things just have to be discussed in length, and this is one of those things, the SH Figuarts Scorpion Zodiart. And this is a little special, not only because it's the first pure villain I've reviewed from the Figuarts line, but okay, I'm going to admit something right now. A lot of my Figuart reviews are pretty much the same way. I'm going to talk the details, the articulation, the accessories, and we're going to call it a day. But this one is just so rich on detail that it really shines as something special. And I'm going to tell you that right out of the way, because this is going to have a lot of gushing. So let's kick the formula off and do what we always do. We're going to start with the detail. And right off the bat, take a look at this thing. Look at all the sculpted detail. Look at all of the paint wash going in to really heighten the details. Look at all the extra translucent plastic attached to the front just to get that, just get the scorpion eyes right. You know, look at all that subtle paint work, really exposing all the molded detail in the legs, in all those little crevices. It's absolutely amazing. Like, if I can get it to focus, you can even see the inner teeth of the face behind those big insectoid teeth. If insectoids have teeth, probably not. Or probably some sort of mandible. I don't know, and don't correct me. I know people are already going to correct me. Whatever it is, it's creepy and it's accurately done. Oh, it's just like, even to the back. I'll show you the back. Like, look, a little dot of silver right where it should be from the design. That's so tiny and insignificant, but they still put it in. That's what I love about these toys. There's such rich detail. But no more than this one. Look at this. Look at all that. It's all sculpted into the armor and then painted over. And the same is true all over this toy. I mean, it really just doesn't end. You see all the translucent plastic added to the armor, representing the stars of the constellation. Not purely accurate, I admit, but the intention is there, and it still looks good. You see all the inner detail from that inner suit from the costume, and all the outer armor all the way through. Really loving the ivory color of the plastic on this too. Paint going all the way through to the arms, more of that detail, and then you get to the claw. Ooh. The claw is where it really pops. You can see so much of that paint wash just really makes the detail pop. Really, really cool design. Absolutely loving this. See, the inside's painted black as well. All the way to the legs, where the same is true. All the metal armor done up with the trim done in silver, and all the ivory parts done up with the paint wash. All the way to the foot. Seriously, the detail is just so outstanding on this toy. I mean, painted all the way. Like, even to look at the back, all the back has been painted. Everything. The back of the heel got detail. The back of the legs. But all the back of the waist, there's the ponytail / stinger thing. Never quite sure because it's attached to her neck. Literally, it doesn't end. There's just so much to look at on this toy, and it's an absolutely beautiful thing to see. This is the type of toy I would point to if someone told me a toy isn't a piece of art, because obviously a lot went into making this thing look absolutely amazing. But that's just in the details. Let's see if the Figuart standard of articulation is there as well. Well, we're going to start off with the head, of course, where, as usual, we get our joint in the base, inside the torso, as well as above the neck, giving you plenty of range in the neck. Thankfully, the legs of the scorpion head actually stay pretty clear of that high color. And if that's not enough, they're articulated. You can actually articulate the legs on her head. That's detail. That's attention to detail right there. Love it. Shoulders, inner ball joint on the torso, as well as a universal joint. Full range of motion. Lots of range all over. The armor, separately hinged, so it stays out of the way. Double jointed elbow. Nice bit of reach with it. You can get to the hand. The hand is ball jointed and hinged just like a normal Figuart, though the gauntlet here does tend to get in the way a little bit. It can still be done though. Luckily, that scorpion claw shape gives you plenty of clearance to get your finger in there and really position it the way you want, which also really helps when getting the hands on and off. Moving to the waist, the torso is articulated as well as the waist joint, though the torso joint itself doesn't offer a lot since it's such a long armor design. Still, lots of room, and you can see this being a separate piece is going to move along with the parts to keep from getting in the way. The same is true for this hip armor. Legs, they do the Figuart thing of extending and then moving outward, giving you plenty of range of motion for leg poses, which is important since this character was all about the kicks. Now, and I'll get to one point about that here in a bit. First, we show the double jointed knee, a little bit restricted compared to some because of the armor, but plenty of range still. And of course, the ankle. It tilts in all directions, and you get the toes. All very well done. It's an incredibly articulated figure, as you'd expect a Figuart to be. And the fact that even the legs on the Scorpion helmet, that still amazes me that they thought of that. Tons of things to do. Very expressive toy. Though, the disappointment is that on the back of the legs, you don't have any full range of motion, which means, and the neck doesn't lift high enough, nor does the back arch enough. To put it simply, she can't do her signature pose. She can't do that one leg up scorpion stinger position like she did all the time in the show. Some things just can't be replicated in plastic. You know, the human body is an extremely flexible thing. Plastic generally is not. So there are limitations, and I know some are going to be disappointed that she's lacking her signature stance. But I think she has quite a bit of articulation as it is, and plenty of poses to make. For accessories, there are of course the extra hands, which are a little unusual this time. You will notice at first that all of them are open-handed. You get the closed fists that are the default, of course, but this is a little odd. There are no holding hands. There's nothing for holding accessories from anyone else, which I know she doesn't hold any accessories in the show, but that doesn't usually stop them. I don't know, it just seems weird not having any. All of them are different shapes of open hands, and here's the odd part. Except for the closed fists that she's defaulted to, none of them mirror each other. All 5 are unique hand poses. So you get a lot of gesturing, and for this character, that is appropriate. She can be menacing, or she can be, let's call it alluring, since she's so good at tempting people to evil. And then we get to my favorite accessory for her, the Xodar Switch. Tiny, tiny little Xodar Switch. Not hers, of course. This is for tempting those who would turn to the dark side and become a monster themselves. You can see it's a tiny piece, so the paint can be a little bit sloppy, but the button is red, the top is silver. That's all I really ask from something this small. And the sculpting is still there. You can see the eye on the side, even if it's not painted. And when I say tiny, there is my dime, there is my switch. This thing is minuscule, and what's really great about having it? It fits all of your Figuarts. So any one of your Figuarts could be lured to the path of darkness and succumb to the simple temptation of so much power from a single push of a button. And that brings us to her biggest accessory. Literally. She comes with a horoscope's robe. And man, this thing is huge. Of course it is. It has to fit her entire body. And to do so, it has to come in 6 pieces, because these are firm plastic. Not soft in any way, so you're going to limit the articulation a lot, but it's for display only, so it's going to look cool. Putting it on is not unlike a Pretender shell for Transformer fans, though you do have to cheat a little bit. Some of the stingers have to come off, as does the tail on her back. The shoulder guards have to go as well. From there, sleeves attach on, and then so does the robe itself, leaving our Figuart a little bit more distinguished and mysterious. 29 years old and I'm playing dress-up with my toys. But that aside, let's see what that dress-up actually got us. I mean, for starters, we've drastically changed the look of this toy. And obviously, all the detail that went into that figure also went into this robe. That's not nearly as detailed, of course, but you can still see a lot of really nice sculpted detail, all of which is molded in and then painted over, really giving you a nice look. I mean, it is a very regal-looking robe. I mean, all the way around, all the different paint apps going into it. And on the back, the Scorpio logo symbol, as well as this really, really intricate piece on the back. Very, very minute details going into it, looking very, very good. So, the detail is far more simple, but of course, the point is the robe itself. It gives her that mysterious look that she had in the show. And of course, since it is all hard plastic, the articulation is next to nil now. That G1 Pretender thing that I pointed out, yeah, it pretty much reduces the articulation to that. But again, this is really just for a display purpose. It's a huge accessory just to display it. But it is one of the ways we know her design in the show. So the robe is a really important detail to include. The only downside is the sleeves really don't attach to the main robe in any way, so you can have gap issues and they'll feel a little bit loose compared to the rest of the figure. But again, it's display, so you can just leave it that way and it should be fine. And just like the Switch, it's also going to be in scale with your Figuarts. So who knows who could be tempted to the dark side by fashion sense. You know what? I don't even know where I was going with that. Let's forget I brought it up. Say what you want about Kamen Rider Fourze. The one thing I don't think you can take away from it is the design of the monsters. The horoscopes in particular. They went above and beyond on the design work on these things. And to see it represented so well in the toy is quite frankly amazing. Like I said, I cannot get over the detail level of this figure. And the nice thing about it? It's a retail release. I got it at Hobby Link Japan. Usually when they do villains, it's a web exclusive. It's usually really hard and expensive to get. And that's because in Japan, the villain toys never do as well, which, as a Western toy collector, I could never understand. If you don't have figures of the villains, who are the heroes going to punch? Seriously, you need someone for Fourze to punch. Make it Scorpion Zodiart. Because seriously, I don't know how long this villains getting retail release Figuarts thing is going to last. This might be your only chance to get one at an affordable price. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go make sure none of my toys are going to make a wish upon a star. I really can't have any of them trying to kill me again.